Hello and welcome to Daily Politics on Trust TV. On this program, we discuss issues around politics, policy and governance. I'm Hamza Idris. Thank you for joining us. While security operatives in the country continue their onslaught against non-state actors terrorizing the country with some level of success, escalating kidnappings for ransom and killings of defenseless citizens by the criminal elements is assuming a frightening dimension. Within the space of 1 week, abductions of innocent citizens such as women, school children, monarchs and politicians, including killings in some incidences, has further raised questions on the efficiency of measures taken by the Nigerian authorities to address the challenge. The deteriorating security situation, especially in northwest, central and southwest of recent, is exacerbated by the farmer-harder conflict fueled by years of lingering ethno-religious crises with attendant loss on human material resources. It is against this backdrop we will be engaging an advocate of the utilization of non-kinetic measures to the conflict, Professor Usman Yusuf. He is a professor of hematology, oncology and bone marrow plantation, a former executive secretary of the National Health Insurance Scheme, and also the secretary of the former Chief of Defense Staff Committee on resolving some of these issues. Thank you very much for coming to the program, Prof.
Thank you.
Once again, we're happy to have you this time around.
Thank you.
And our condolences over so many issues,
yes,
killings and all that around the country.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
Thank
but
you.
before we engage in the conversation, here are some tidbits. And America burst into tears on Tuesday on the floor of the parliament while discussing the insecurity in his state, Ekiti. Although the security situation across the country appears to have worsened with almost daily reports of killings and kidnappings, the lawmaker focused on the latest incident in his state. At the plenary of the House of Representatives, Aki Rotimi, the spokesperson of the House, broke down in tears while reading a motion on Monday to the murder of the monarch in Ekiti State. Hear what he said.
Aware that the late Onimojo was an intellectual and highly intelligent historian, an orator who always spoke truth to power. Also aware that the late Elesu was a peace-loving king who was very hands-on in the development of Eswayedu communities. Further aware that because of the topography of the area and the bad roads, there's been an incursion of murderous elements who parade themselves as headsmen, leading to heightened insecurity. The House recognizes that the entire people of Imojo in Oye local government and Esu in the Ikole local government and the entire state have been thrown into mourning on account of the loss of
That was a lawmaker from Ekiti State who actually betrayed emotions to show the level of pain in his home state of Ekiti. And elsewhere, human rights activist and senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, has sued the federal government through the Attorney General of the Federation, the Minister of Education, the Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, and 36 states of the Federation over the issue of out-of-school children in the country. Falana filed the suit alongside an early childhood education specialist, Hawa Mustafa, on behalf of the Alliance on Surviving COVID-19 and beyond. Their suit is over their failure to access 68 billion naira Universal Basic Education Commission funds to provide free basic education for every Nigerian child of school age. Welcome back to the program. We'll take a short break, and when we return, the conversation commences. Don't go away. Yes, Prof, a lawmaker crying like a baby following the killing of monarchs in Ekiti State, followed by abduction of pupils heading to school, which is actually a new phenomenon. What will you say on this?
Right. Just what to say is we condole the loss of lives and the loss of the monarch he was presenting at the House of Assembly. The question to ask is, we haven't had or seen this kind of emotion from any of our representatives from the North. Any of the 3 geopolitical zones that we've been living through this. Banditry, this is the 9th year. The killing and the maiming and the raping is a regular and normal phenomenon in many of our rural areas. Both in the Northeast and the Northwest and the North Central, we don't see our representatives in the National Assembly either advocating for people or even exuding this much emotion.
Which will be very difficult to contest, I think. Going by the way, because it wasn't drama. I don't know.
This is real. The question is, that's a representative of his people. Where are our representatives? In the North. Where are they? If they are watching, where are you? You're not advocating for your people.
And maybe the emotions he exuded must have been a factor, because nobody actually contested anything. They all, supported him and gave a directive for certain actions.
Right. This is real. Hamza, we have shed a tear or two throughout what we've been doing. Shagumi, the group, CDSAC. We've seen horrors. We need to see members of the National Assembly. This is what they are voted to do. Come and represent your people.
To use emotions to elicit action.
Use whatever, legal. We don't hear from them, as if all is well in the North. Hasn't been. A lot of monarch traditional rulers have been killed in the Northeast, Northwest, North Central. As we speak today, those girls abducted from Federal University, Gusau, they are spending their 4th month.
Over 120 days.
Over 120 days there in the forest. We haven't seen our members of House of Reps or senators talking about them, or anybody in the North talking about them. These are our children, girls, in the forest with bad guys. Rainy season passed, and it's now Hamatan. We haven't had anything from any of the members of National Assembly, particularly those representing Zamfara. They're in the forest.
Maybe their plight has been overtaken by the Tudumbiri incident, followed by the Plateau carnage.
Yeah, Tudumbiri, they've lost their lives, and the gone are gone. We mourn them. But these are young girls still in the forest.
Now, the abduction of those pupils, about 6 of them, inside a bus in Ekiti, can we say it's actually a new trend now that is about to set in?
Right, but you see, we don't know. We don't know who is responsible, and ever of these criminals, they adopt their modus operandi wherever they find the loophole to do that. You haven't forgotten the Teginas Islamia kids, some as young as 4 during Buhari's time. They were all abducted into the forest, some died. So, our leaders, the ones we voted and elected, the ones that are supposed to represent us and advocate for people, they are not doing that. This is the reality. It's sad.
Okay, our second tidbit, of course, Falana, from the southern part of the country. Of course, we see him as a Nigerian because he's almost everywhere. Now he has dragged the federal government, the 36 state governors, through the Attorney General of the Federation, over the failure of the state governors to access these billions, domicile with universal basic education. What is wrong? What is happening? This money is there. It's just to provide counterpart funding.
Hamza, you did not bring me here today to annoy me. Our biggest problems, to be honest with you, are our governors.
Then what do we do with them?
Right. Vote for a governor that will do the right thing, or advocate. Your right as citizen does not end at the ballot box. Why are we talking, raising our voices? For goodness sake, the primary responsibility of governors is to take care of their people. They have emasculated all local governments. All 74 local governments in the country are not functioning because the governors have emasculated their funds. If money is trickling down to the villages, down to the local governments, things are done, people will not migrate to the cities and people will have things to do. But over the years, President Buhari tried to liberate the local governments, but he couldn't because he was weak, to be honest. But the governors are the ones primarily responsible for all the drivers of insecurity we see.
And can we create a nexus between this failure to actually fund education at the basic level and the insecurity we are battling with?
Even President Buhari said it. Even former
tinubu.
Minister of Education, Adamu Adamu said he's the longest serving Minister of Education. He's not proud of that. Why? Because it was during his tenure that the number of out-of-school children ballooned. And he blamed the governors. It is not the president, it is not the Minister of Education that takes care of primary education. It is the governors. The same governors that we benefited from free education from primary school all throughout our university. All governors are responsible for this. All governors. And the increasing number of out-of-school children is just a ticking time bomb.
We're actually mining the data as we speak with you, trying to see which part of the country refuse deliberately to access these humongous forms at the disposal of the universal basic education. But what we started seeing, it is the north. Why is it difficult for them to now pay the counterpart for
Right. It is, look, let me tell you, during our time, and all these governors, many of them are younger than us. During our generation, we pray for these leaders of our time because they invested in us, invested in our education. Now what do governors do? They invest in flyovers and concrete. That is their priority.
But they're also necessary, right?
No, they're not as necessary. During our time, we didn't have flyovers, we didn't have...
Because you don't have as many cars.
No, we didn't even need them. We didn't even need them. Invest in people. Invest in people. For goodness sake, they are building flyovers, they are building concrete, they get loans. Some of them even go get foreign loans to build flyovers. Underneath that flyover, a multitude of out-of-school children. What are you going to do with flyovers? What? So is that same money they are supposed to access UBEC fund that they are building flyovers because that's where they get the money?
And is it because maybe when they pay the counterpart fund, they will not have direct access to the whole money? It's very painful.
Please don't. The governors, God Almighty, will ask them on that day. That is certain. That Allah gave them this responsibility. What did they do with it? What did they do with it?
Of course, you are a medical personnel, but at the same time, an educationist. You teach, and you know the price we are all paying. What methods should the federal government explore so that these governors will now believe in education to actually invest, even if they are not bringing the whole of their money, maybe the counterpart, which is very meager, maybe 10-20% of what they stand to gain at the end of the day. Do we need, a law somewhere?
Do they care about the law? They are just beyond redemption. They just do whatever they do. They do not have the fear of God. It's just the fear of God. You're given leadership responsibility. All you want to do is just make people beggars. Instead of investing in their children, instead of investing in people. That is what, there is enough money in Nigeria for us not to be poor. But our commonwealth is in the hands of a few. And the people driving the poverty and the insecurity are all our 36 governors.
If there was a lull during the previous administration, have you seen some semblance of seriousness this time around? On governance, maybe at the center, which will maybe likely trickle down to state and local government?
No, I don't see anything. It's the same old story. Nothing has changed. We are just, especially the North, This is where I live.
You are passionate about the North.
Yeah, because this is where I live. All politics is local.
So what credit will you give Falana, who is actually fighting for the North now?
Falana is doing what you and I should be doing. I'm glad Daily Trust, you're doing your part. And I'm doing my part. And everybody should be doing his part, raising his voice against all these injustices we see. No nation in this world, ever. You will see no peace in any nation where there is this much injustice. They're this much out of school, we expect peace. You finish your ministership, you finish your chief of army staff, you finish your presidency, you can't go back home to your ancestral home and spend the weekend without those big guns people. This is not how leaders past lived. Late President Shehu Shagari went back to Sokoto and you could access his home.
From the road?
Absolutely. And you could go in and see him. People would go and see him. No big guns. Even President Muhammadu Buhari cannot stay in Daura without those big guns.
As we speak?
Absolutely. We finish all we are doing. You are a professor, you are a minister, you are this, you are this. You finish all your Abuja round trip, you can go back home. That's why everybody is in Abuja as an IDP. We, all of us, carried the pregnancy and gave birth to these monsters we call insecurity all over this country.
Now you say we are all in Abuja as IDPs.
IDPs.
Is it safe, Abuja itself?
Well, Abuja, now people, you are making noise, everybody is sweating under the collar because it's closing in on the seat of power.
Why?
Abuja.
Why is it so? I've been asking this question, asking people, on this program. Why are they inching in on Abuja?
Good, because you, Hamza.
Yes.
If you ignore
the grassroots
home and leave the poverty, you think it's going to remain there, it will be inching. It will be inching. It will get to you. This is not surprising.
So you're not surprised that
no, I'm not. And it's going to get absolutely, and it's going to get worse.
How?
We do not take care of.
Wike says that if they don't want to die, they should repent.
Who?
Wike, the minister of the
Wike needs an education about governance, about people, about insecurity. He knows little. He really does know little. All this kinetic, magnetic nonsense, you don't know anything. Take care of the drivers of insecurity, for goodness sake. If people in my village have things to do, why do they need to leave the village and come to Abuja? In the next few years, after I finish all I'm doing, I would like to go back home to Katsina. What are you doing in Abuja? But there is nothing to do in the hinterland. That's why they're all coming here. And when they come here, there's nothing to do. That's why you see all of this insecurity. And we are surprised because we ignored our people back home.
Is it the national cake that is...
We're all hungry. People are hungry. Today, do you know how much a bag of maize costs in the market? 50,000? What is the minimum wage? What is the minimum wage? 30,000? That is in people who work. Even soldiers on the war front, they earn 50,000. They are complaining they cannot buy a bag of rice. So the cost of living continues to deteriorate. Inflation continues to go up. People are hardened up. There is nothing to do. What do you expect? A commensurate rise in insecurity. And what do we do? What do governments do? Oh yeah, put roadblocks, get guns, go buy Tucano jets. 1 million Tucano jets cannot bring security to a place where there is no justice.
Over ₦1 trillion for the kinetic approach in the budget. Is that a fair deal?
Okay. If you look at insecurity all over, we know the drivers of insecurity. We know them. Regardless of if my children, probably if I hadn't gone to school, I'll be a bandit. The way things are today.
You'll be a bandit?
Absolutely, maybe.
There is that likelihood, if not for this school.
Everybody, if you hadn't gone to education, there are no better opportunities for you. Things are open for you to do. Criminalities. You take care, lots of our biggest problem in the North is poverty. The North has 65%, about 83 million of the 133 million people in multidimensional poverty. We have 20 million out of school children. Vast majority of them are in the north. So you have out of school children, you have people that haven't gone to school, you have poverty, you have continuing corruption, you have arms coming across from Niger, you have drugs, you have, what do you expect? It's a time bomb that will explode. If we do not take care of the social problems, what we'll continue to see is this. But what we are doing, what the government is doing, instead of kinetic, if we are realistic, kinetic is only about 10%. 10.
Kinetic.
Absolutely. 90% is taking care of the social issues.
That's why I ask this over a trillion.
We are paying, look at the budget. 1.3 trillion for the military, and then 800 billion for the army, for the police, and then the National Security Advisor's Office is up to 200 billion. Agric is about 100 and something billion. Our priorities are messed up. Do not take care of social issues, insecurity will increase, and you keep investing on military hardware. International community, there was an article in The Economist that you do not address social issues, you are wasting so much time on expensive military hardware, you will never have security. What we are doing, and I've said it, is banditry is what I know. I don't know Boko Haram, I don't know IPOB, I don't know the others. I've invested time in knowing and understanding banditry because I live here, it affects my people, and it is where I live. Started as a social problem, allowed to fester all these years, and has mutated into this criminal monster you've seen. Social problem. You have to be able to go back and correct the problems. Big plans from Abuja with all these big budgets will never solve this problem. All the problems are local, solutions must be found locally. You must engage people. But here we are in Abuja, National Assembly, the military, everybody saying we need to buy Tucano jets, we need to buy... No, you don't.
If you have your way, even in a dream, what will you do to the budget?
Expend a lot more money on social investment, investing in people. Let's look at the plateau. I don't know if you have questions on the plateau.
I do.
Let's look at.
We're going to discuss,
right.
On that.
Yeah.
Now that's why I'm saying before we move to plateau, you know, this upsurge in kidnapping, is it poor technology to track?
Upsurge in kidnapping take care of social issues. This is. Okay, banditry and all this criminality started in the villages. We didn't care over these years. And then came to the towns and the cities, and then they started blocking the highways. And now they're coming to the big city. And then everybody is saying, oh, the world will come to an end. Hello, this thing has been going on for a long time. In Zamfara State the other day, this bandit took away over 100 people in the village because they refused to pay a levy, a tax is put on them. This is the normal way our people have been living. This is the norm. Now it's coming to Abuja where all of a sudden we're waking up. This is the realities of our people all over this country. So the government needs to do better.
What is the antidote to the kidnapping?
The antidote to kidnapping, if anybody tells you we've let out the cat, it's very difficult to catch it back. You must do what you can.
To kill all the bandits?
No, killing the bandits are not. How many are there? How many are the bandits? Do we even know?
Maybe they know, but they are all over the...
Right, but what I'm saying, we've been fighting this war for... Nigerians need to ask themselves. Nigeria fought the civil war was 30 months. Right? We've been fighting banditry, this is the 9th year. 9th year. If I'm the president, I will ask my security chiefs, tell me about banditry, because each of these conflicts are different. Banditry, Boko Haram, IPOB, or wherever. Tell me about banditry. We've been fighting it for 8 years. Tell me about it. 8 years, why haven't we been able to take care of it? And Nigerians need to understand, if we could, do you think the military doesn't want to go back to the barracks? Soldiers are trained directly from depot, they go to the war front. Many have never seen barracks.
And they get killed.
They get killed, they get injured. They take a lot of hit. Why? Soldiers are essentially cleaning the mess that politicians started. Banditry was created by misgovernance. Boko Haram, the same thing. IPOP, corruption and bad governance. And then we think the military can come and clean up after all of this mess. The military is deployed all across 36 states. We don't have enough troops. This is the honest truth.
Are you satisfied with the performance of the military? Because beyond the cleaning up, they have been accused to be part and parcel of the rot.
The military is doing what it can do. This is the honest truth. You cannot ask... The military the elasticity of the military has a limit. It's all over. Boko Haram, they've been fighting for 15 years. Banditry, this is the 9th year. How long are we going to continue fighting this?
Are they not part of the problem?
No, but they have become part of the problem because we know it's common knowledge that the military has benefited as a fat cash cow, banditry, Boko Haram, and Niger Delta. But we made them do that because we think the military will solve all our problems. Because we think the military can bring peace to our people. No, it can't. Only us can bring peace to our people.
We made mention of social interventions. I want you to actually say a little more on it, because what we have already has been messed up, and you said it is the way forward. So what do?
We are at a stage now where, going in to build clinics or to build, we have passed that long time ago. We are at a stage that it's all messed up. We have pockets of fighting, what I call civil wars. Fulanis and houses, Fulanis and thieves in Benue, Fulanis and Magavilles, Fulanis and Gwaris, Fulanis.
Then why Fulanis in all these places?
So then ask government instead of throwing money. Find out why. You do not understand a problem, you are throwing money at it, you are throwing guns.
There have been many initiatives.
Yeah, no, all these initiatives, wallahi, the first thing we need to do, and we must do, get everybody involved, is to reconcile communities.
How do you reconcile communities where already the ties have been broken?
No, not completely.
Someone has killed somebody's father, right. Someone has raped somebody's sister.
Well, there was a civil war. Millions were killed. Wasn't there? There was a president then who said no vanquish, no victor.
General Gowon.
General Gowon. Saw us through a civil war and saw us through recovery and reconstruction. We had a civil war. And you say these leaders that followed them cannot reconcile people? Where are we elders? Where are you, the papers? Where are traditional rulers? Where are the clerics? Where is everybody? We must all get involved. If we expect the military to solve our problems, we'll be waiting till kingdom come. This war will be a forever war. There is a role for the military in banditry, a very important role. But there's never going to be a military solution to banditry. And this battle will never be won on the battlefield.
It will never?
Never. Because this kind of conflicts, we as students of history, this kind of conflicts have never been won on the battlefield. The military knows that. The military has been on this for 15 years, 9 years. Come on, give this military a break. Let them go back to the barracks. Everybody must come in. Essentially what the military is doing all across this country is internal policing.
The military will discuss more on this. Prof, we'll go on a short break for now. Viewers, don't go away. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back. If you are just joining, this is Daily Politics on Trust TV. Do well to follow the conversation across our social platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and watch us live on YouTube. We still have in the studio Professor Usman Yusuf, former Executive Secretary, National Health Insurance Scheme, Secretary, former Chief of Defense Staff Committee on resolving the banditry issue, especially in northern Nigeria. Welcome back to the program. Before we went on break, you mentioned military more than 10 times, but finally you suggested that they have to go back to the barracks.
They need to.
They need to go back to the barracks. How can they go back to the barracks when kidnappers, bandits, terrorists are raiding towns and villages.
Right. What I'm saying, kidnapping, solving kidnapping is the job of the military.
It shouldn't be.
Shouldn't.
Whose job should it be?
Police. A lot of these things that the military is doing is internal policing.
Is the government ready to equip the police?
No, it's internal policing. The job of the military, and they're doing a good job at it. The job of the military is to provide an enabling environment for peace to prevail. Wherever there is a fight or wherever they go in, what they do is to put out the flame. The embers are there. It's not the job of the military to sit down and bring peace between community. It's not. We're asking the military to do more than its mandate. We're overstretching it. In Zamfara State, they are even adjudicating between civil cases. People go to them, oh, this guy has done this to me, this guy has done this to me. Where is the police? The police is one of the most important, if not the most important, law enforcement agency. Where are they today? They have literally abdicated their responsibility of internal policing to the military. When we were young, I was in the university, we started 48 years ago. If there's a strike or if there's any problem, the police will go. But the next big guys to land in town are the mobile police. And if mobile police are deployed, they come from all over, Kano, Jos, wherever, they come into town, bad guys know that there's a new sheriff in town.
When the mobile police?
Absolutely.
Now it's like
mobile police was the elite wing of the Nigerian police then. The military never come out.
Where are they now? It's like they have disappeared into
they are following Ogas. They are guarding them all over. They are guarding them all. And the point I'm making, more than half my life, I'm 63, alhamdulillah, more than half my life we live through a military, we live through military regimes. And now this half, democracy, we are seeing more military involvement in our lives
than even
during civilian rule than during the military. During the military, you don't see soldiers all over the place. They were in their barracks.
What is your rating of the service chief? Some are saying 6 months, not really impressive.
So, good. So you see, people are thinking, is this the first set of service chiefs for us to change? We always want to blame service chiefs as the solution, as the ones that are causing the problem. Buratai came, so Buratai must go. Oh, this guy came, this guy must go. Has anything changed? The service chiefs we have are brilliant senior officers.
You can attest to that?
Absolutely.
But is there cooperation among them? Are they
better?
working in synergy?
A lot better now than we saw.
Then why the kidnapping? Why the continued kidnapping?
It's not the responsibility of the military to prevent kidnapping. Where is the police? Where's the DSS? Where is the police? Where is the DSS? Do we expect, not even in Ukraine where there is a civil war, do you see the military doing what our military are doing? No.
The military came because there was lack of capacity of sort.
The thing is,
the police.
And if you are a soldier today, if you are the military, take this as a credit that Nigerians are expecting a lot of you because you are the last option Nigerians have. You are the last. Everything military. You are one of the few institutions that people still trust in Nigeria. And I will tell you, I don't know the other service chiefs, but let me tell you about the Chief of Defense Staff. Never met him one-on-one. I was at a presentation where he was presenting. And I was way back there. He finished reading his official speech. After that, he spoke from the heart. And what I heard from him was the human being, the warrior general, who cares deeply about this nation, who cares deeply about the state of insecurity in this nation, who cares deeply about his troops. About his troops. He was born and raised in Sokoto, where I was raised. He's from Kaduna. So insecurity for him is not alien. Insecurity for him is personal. He's from Kaduna.
Is he getting the support?
He is.
Some people are saying President Tinubu at a closer look, is more interested in the economy instead of on the security. Do you share that perspective?
Well, I said it, but look at the budget. He's giving them a lot of money, more money than anybody. What more do they need? He's given them the largest 1.3 trillion. If that is the support they need, well, he's given that to him. But his body language is not as, his interest is the economy. They give you money, go
and can the economy thrive without security?
Security is the most important thing. That was what we've been screaming during President Muhammadu Buhari's time when they were going and whispering to him, oh, infrastructure, infrastructure, infrastructure. And we were saying security is more important than building bridges. And they say we were opposition leaders. Well, what bridges can you build when people cannot pass through that road? Priorities need to change. What I find gladdening this time around is there is some acceptance from the presidency and even the military that things need to be done differently.
But are they doing anything differently? Look at what happened in Plateau State. Are you worried? What really happened in Plateau?
And I'm not here. I haven't met any of these top soldiers.
You have your contacts, yes.
No, I haven't met any of those top soldiers. And to be honest with you, I don't want to meet them because the closer I get to them, the more I cannot criticize them. They make it possible for me to criticize them because of the work they are doing.
So the incident in Plateau.
Okay, let's see what's happening in Plateau. No. Let me tell you. Nigerians need to wake up. I have lived long enough to know a better Plateau than we are seeing today. A Plateau that was embracing of all ethnic groups, all cultures, all religion. A beautiful weather, a beautiful city. I know that Plateau. Anybody that is less than 30 or 35 has not seen anything differently from this poisonous ethno-religious hatred. It wasn't brought up by soldiers, but politicians. The issue in the Plateau is not a security problem or a combat problem that you send soldiers. No, it's a truth and reconciliation between communities.
Are the leaders ready for that?
Only them can do it. No soldier can do that.
But are they interested?
They must do that.
Just 2 days ago, I think it was just yesterday, a committee was set up.
Yeah.
And somebody shared the list. I saw the committee set up by the governor. Not a single person from outside Plateau or a Muslim or any other tribe apart from people of Plateau to see how they can resolve the issue of Plateau. Is that the way to go?
No, I saw that list and signed by the SSG.
Yes. Okay, you saw
2 days. Yeah. Today.
Well, how did you felt when you saw
today they brought out a disclaimer. Well, 10 people. Out of the 10 people, there was not a single Muslim. There was not a mix of other people. How can you do that? If you're not inclusive.
But they denied it, right? I didn't even see the denial.
No, I saw the denial.
After an incident months ago, the wife of the president was in Plateau. A list was actually released for support and all that. The Falana, the Hausas, the Kanuris, all others, they cry out that they were not captured on the list,
right.
for the support.
Right.
Even though the state government denied it, but later the same list was used in the distribution of the support.
This is what I will tell the presidency or the military or anybody. Nobody can bring peace to the Plateau or Zamfara, but the people of Plateau or Zamfara. Nobody. This fight in the Plateau has been going on.
For instance, if they ask you
they need to
move to ask you,
right.
Okay, Prof Yusuf, what do you think I should do to restore peace on the Plateau?
Simple, and it's not kinetic. Sending soldiers. I mean, we are putting soldiers in impossible situation in the Plateau. And I saw that the other day, the DHQ is arguing and saying, oh, Khan said the military was supporting them, and these people are saying, oh, the military was supporting them. We are putting the military in a situation we shouldn't.
Disrepute?
No, it's not disrepute. The military should not be in that position where they are seen to take sides. They shouldn't be there. They shouldn't be there. The military is our last hope in this country. It's an institution we trust. It's an institution every human being, regardless of his ethnicity or religion, trusts. For you to say, oh, the military is doing this, the military is doing this, you are putting the military in a situation where it shouldn't be.
Ironically, in Plateau, for instance, other tribes and followers of other religions, they trust the military more than the people, the locals there, who believe that the military should go.
Everybody supports the military, but the military is chewing more than it can swallow. The problem in the Plateau is not a combat or security issue. It's an issue where elders must come in and talk about truth, reconciliation, and bringing communities back together. Many of this, in Mangu, they're the same tribe, the same ethnicity. There are a sizable number of Muslims and there are a sizable number of Christians. Many families, there are Muslims and Christians, and they are fighting each other because of religion. I went to all my primary school through Catholic primary schools. I went into the world and lived longest in Judeo-Christian cultures. I want any Muslim or any Christian cleric to open the scripture and tell me where they're teaching all of this poison to our children. I'm sure these children or these people did not learn this from their mothers. No religion teaches killing people.
Where do you place merchants who actually gain from this conflict?
Hamza, wallahi, nobody can bring peace to us but ourselves. The people of Plateau must bring peace to themselves, and they can. And we see that everywhere. Banditry today, Fulanis are the ones that are bandits, or Kanuris are the ones that are Boko Haram. Because we, the elders, have lost control of our youth. That's why I'm involved. We must own responsibility and expect soldiers or the presidency to come and solve our problem. Are there not elders in the Plateau?
Zamfara just joined the bandwagon of establishing militia of sorts. Where are we heading to? Is it a loss of confidence on state actors?
So I said the reason many states, some states in the north are creating their own militia.
We have Katsina, we have Zamfara, we have Plateau,
right.
We have, quite a number.
Yeah, and the reason is because we do not have enough boots on the ground, especially of policemen to guide our communities. You go to many villages, you don't see any policemen.
But it's about the resources, Prof.
Good.
If, for instance, take Katsina, which launched its own state security outfit last year. Dozens of cars, hundreds of motorbikes. If you put the money together, is it not enough to now say, okay, police, take this, since it's all about resources, recruit into the mainstream security?
Right, so I'm asking, why should the state government, especially poor states in the north, Zamfara, Katsina, Yobe, and Jigawa, how much do they get? The primary responsibility of government, federal government, is securing its people. Why should out of the measly allocation the states get from FARC, a sizable chunk of that is spent on security?
Don't you think they are getting more than the federal government?
No, they're not.
We
the federal government
take the blame to the table of the
federal government must do what it needs to do, secure its people. It hasn't done that in the Northwest over the last 9 years. It should employ more policemen. You should employ more soldiers. That's why we are calling for state police, trained and funded by the federal government. But the reason I'm worried about this state militia, this militia, their mix is not inclusive.
Okay, every state its own people.
You have in Zamfara, you have Fulanis and Hausas. You cannot have 80% of the militia only Hausas. You have to mix them. In the Plateau, you have to mix them. You want to bring peace. We saw with our eyes, I and Sheikh Gumi, when we went to a village in Kwara State, Elisha Barutain. The emir there mixed all his vigilante are all ethnic groups. This is how you.
So you pick them from various.
They are there. Yes. All ethnic groups, the Yorubas, the Barutans, the Fulanis, the Hausas, the Igbos, they're all part of it. But here you have majority one ethnic group and you're going into the forest to fight another group. In any case, it is not the job of all these vigilantes to do the job of the military to fight or the job of the police. It's not. This is one big concern, and it is going to worsen the circle of
You think it will not solve the problem, these vigilantes that we are having in the States?
It won't, because they did it in Niger, we saw that. It won't. If you are inclusive, they will protect their villages. But if you put just one and you're fighting the other,
like the Borno template of sorts.
Yeah, I don't know the Borno template, but you have to have the support of the federal government. And states are doing all of this because the federal government has failed in providing either the funding or the training or the boots on the ground. Another thing, the big concern is this vigilante get a time when they start doing extrajudicial killings or things that is beyond their mandate.
We heard about instances in Katsina Forest.
Yeah, they will do that, and no supervision. The training is flimsy, and you give them guns, these kids, and they go in there and. This is different from if you have a professional police or professional military. The other big concern is, I'm a governor and I have this militia. I will make sure I use that my militia to continue perpetuating my party in power.
But then what tells you that, because you are an advocate of state police, for instance,
yes.
What tells you if now they transform these semi-militia groups into full-blown state police? Anarchy in Nigeria?
No.
Okay, what will happen?
It's anarchy if you have this vigilante. But if you have state police that are funded and trained by the federal government, in the United States you have what do you call National Guard and all that. You have to have them. If you can't have the national police everywhere, trained police, Batsari, I need 1,000. Federal government train them, equip them under the authority of real police and let them police their towns. Instead of the governors out of the little and no supervision and poorly trained, so I'm worried about this militia, to be honest, this vigilante, and government needs to step in. Governors, this is the problem I have said. Northern governors, in addition to holding the levers of all these drivers of insecurity, they are beginning to do it now, but nobody is talking to themselves. They're not talking to themselves.
Are you now referring to maybe a peer review of sorts?
Okay,
or coming together
and discussing whatever it is. How can you have security in Katsina when Zamfara is not secure? Okano is not secure. Ojigawa is not secure. What are northern governors doing together? Now I'm seeing these new ones are coming together and do something. Do something. So if you don't come together, everybody is doing his own. This one is saying, I will have dialogue. This one is saying, go to the forest and bomb them. You achieve nothing.
The former chief of defense staff, his committee, which you serve as secretary, where is it now?
We are doing other work quietly.
Are you in touch with the incumbent chief of defense staff?
Not the chief of defense staff, but other security agencies.
Okay, finally, what will you expect President Tinubu to do to end this escalating carnage all over the country? This should be in less than 1 minute, Prof.
Right. President Tinubu needs to understand it. And to be honest, he doesn't understand it. His advisors need to, if they don't understand it, they need to understand it. They need to be humble enough to understand it and realize that we've done 8 years of kinetic, 9 years of kinetic in the Northwest. This is where we are. We need to do things differently. This banditry can never be won on the battlefield. Everybody must be involved. Traditional rulers, clerics, you, I, everybody. The military, we need to take them back to the barracks. We have too much military in our lives.
But before they take them to the barracks, I'm compelled to ask this. Maybe they have to equip the police, the civil defense, and others.
Involve people. Well, if you involve all community members, why do I need bombs? Why do I need Tucano jets in Shinkapi when people do not even have water to drink?
Thank you very much, Prof, for your informed perspective on this program. And we hope to have you again.
Thank you.
Next, when you come, we hope you smile and say, yes, they have acted accordingly.
Thank you.
Yes, viewers, we've been interfacing with Professor Usman Yusuf, former Executive Secretary, National Health Insurance Scheme, and Secretary of the former Chief of Defense Staff Committee on resolving the banditry issue in Nigeria. And that's a wrap on today's package. We hope you found the conversation engaging and informative. And be sure to join Daily Politics ERL live every weekday and our special package on Friday, during which we open our telephone line for you to comment on national issues. Thank you for being with us. Bye-bye for now. I'm Hamza Idris.